I'm so excited for today's video. We are doing a first here at Whiskey and Wit. We are doing bee and honey themed DIYs, and as Alex told me to say, stick around for the unbelievable DIYs. I'm Whitney, this is Whiskey and Wit, and I love to share budget-friendly DIYs and home decor, as well as Cricut tips and wood builds. So if you are new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future Whiskey and Wit content. So I've never done any bee or honey themed DIYs here on my channel, but Lisa over at Living My Best Life with Lisa Marie reached out and said they were doing a friend hop and asked if I wanted to be a part of it. I've got supplies from Amazon, Hobby Lobby, Dollar Tree, a few different places. Also be sure to check the description box for the next video because you watch mine, click that link, hop to the next one, and then you can hop to all 5 videos. And also leave your best bee or honey puns down in the comments because we need to see if they're better than unbelievable crafts submitted by Alex. Let's get crafting. So I went big on this one because I didn't have any other bee decor when I signed on for this collab. So I wanted to show you everything that I made. The first one is this cute honey pot. So I found this jar at Dollar Tree and it's in their nautical section, and I thought it looked like an awesome little honey pot shape. So I started by taking a Sharpie and just freehanding some hexagons in a little cluster on 2 different sides of the jar. And the reason that I did that is to give myself a guide. I then went in with my fine tip Surebonder glue gun and traced everything so it was raised. Then I removed all the little wispy hair things that come from glue, used some of this flat white spray paint, and gave it 2 coats. So it was neutralized and you could see the raised glue marks. My goal was to make this kind of look like a honeycomb. Then I went over the top with some yellow Waverly chalk paint just on a makeup sponge to give it a little bit of an unfinished rustic look. And then while that was drying, I grabbed one of these honey dippers. I got a huge pack from Amazon for super cheap, as well as these gold glue sticks. I painted the top yellow, and then I went through with the gold glue sticks and squirted it on the top to make it look like honey. I also used the glue to hook one of those honey dippers to the top, and then I just made on some parchment paper a couple little long hangy ones, and then I glued them on to get that dripping effect. And I think this turned out super cute, and you could also add words if you wanted to. You could just do the yellow and then add the Ray Dunn font, but I was really excited to be able to do this with some glue sticks versus resin, which was my first option, and that's just way out of my comfort zone. Also in that same vein, I made one of these stand up, like looking like the honey had either melted or spilled. And so to do that, I just grabbed some parchment paper and I put those gold glue sticks into just an old cheap Michaels glue gun that I had. I made a little pile and then let it dry on the parchment paper. And then because it's the wax or parchment paper, you can pop it right off when everything has cooled. And then to finish off this look, I just added a little bee that I also got from Amazon. All of my supplies that are online will be linked down below for you so you can easily find them. But this is so cute. It just looks like some honey spill or the honey dipper fell off. It's just a fun little cheeky decor piece. Also with that same technique, I created just these additional little honey dippers. I got like 20 in a pack and they really make vignettes. Another super easy way to get some decor for things that you don't have a lot of is to grab Dollar Tree frames and create some printables. So I just spray painted these small gold ones matte black. I did 2 coats, and then these are free printables available over on my blog. One says sweet as honey, the other one says let it be. Just black and white little prints that I printed off on our printer, and these are awesome for a variety of different uses. You could do different sizes, but I really like them because they help fill out areas of tiered trays and really gives you that themed decor on a really small budget. Now, it wouldn't be a bee-themed display if there wasn't one of these DIY hives. And so I'm obviously not the first person to ever do one of these, but I did want to share it with you in case you've never seen it. I grabbed one of these cloches as well as some nautical rope from Dollar Tree, and I just used some hot glue to wrap it around the outside. Once I got to the top, I finished it with a little circular motion with the glue. And then I took an additional piece and made like a little door and then painted that piece inside all that rope black. And then I took some more of those cute little bees. The pack I bought came with 3 different sizes, and they're really nice because they have a sticker on the back, and so I didn't have to worry about hot gluing them. I just stuck them right on, and I've got a buzzing little hive for my setup. Up next are these really cute little mason jar shakers. So these are in the kitchenware section at Dollar Tree. I popped off the lids and did 2 coats of matte white spray paint. This one also has a primer in it, so it gives really good coverage. I put the lids back on, and then I took this Dollar Tree little decor piece. They're just stickers. They're not window clings. I went through, cut out the bees, and stuck them on there. Super duper easy, but they are super cute. They definitely look like something you would pick up on Etsy or see on Pinterest, and it was just $3, so $1.50 each to put these together with Dollar Tree supplies. I have been seeing these bee canisters everywhere, and they can easily run you above $20. This was my inspiration from Amazon. As you can see, 25 bucks. So I wanted to show you how you could dupe it with a Dollar Tree vase. So I had this vase I had DIY'd on a previous project. I decided to cover it with some white spray paint, the same stuff I've been using, and then trace on a bee image. So this is available in the free printables along with those printables we showed before. This is available on my blog as well, this little image, so click the link in the description if you want to make the same thing. But I just layered it on to my spray painted vase with a piece of tracing paper and my printout. Then I went through and traced it and then filled in the pieces. If for some reason you don't have tracing paper, no problem, just scribble some pencil on the back and then trace. It will do the same thing. I also added some little hexagon honeycomb pieces with a metallic marker just to add a little bit of oomph to the edges. And also keep in mind this tracing technique for these next couple projects. I ended up using my Cricut because time is of the essence for me with a little one. However, if you would like to make any of these, you could easily trace and get the same effect. I love having farmhouse beads as part of my tiered tray, and this bee display was no exception. So this one, I decided to go with lyrics from a Blake Shelton song, "You'll be my honeysuckle and I'll be your honeybee." So this little charm is actually a wreath charm from Dollar Tree. I grabbed a couple of them because I liked the shape, and then I decided that it would look really cute on beads. So one side I painted that yellow, the other side I did black, and then I cut out this free cut file from my Cricut. Again, if you don't have a Cricut, you can just print it out and trace it. It fit exactly when I cut it at 4 inches wide. Make sure to measure if you're using something else so it fits exactly. I had to move a couple letters, but it was a pretty easy process. Then my beads came in a multi-pack from Amazon. Again, I'll link that for you. And I just grabbed some Arteza acrylic paint, but you could use whatever acrylic paint you have on hand. I just like this lemon yellow color. I put it in a solo cup with just a little bit of water, maybe a couple teaspoons, swished around the paint. Yes, that is the technical term. And then I just continued to swish around the beads. I left them in there for about a half an hour, and I switched them about every 5 minutes. Half an hour is probably a little overkill. But then once you're done, I would say maybe 15 minutes, I took a toothpick and fished them all out, let them dry, and then I strung them up. I did yellow, white, black, and then a little natural bead from that multi-pack. I created a tassel, so I just wrapped it around my hand 45 times, tied the top. Then I added a little bit of black and white buffalo check ribbon. And then I tied off the top and cut the little ends. Once that was done, I then tied it to the end of my strand, same with my little charm. And I love it. It turned out so awesome. I really like that I decided to go with the words in a circle around the outside. This display is just awesome, and this totally is something you can make super affordably and get that Pinterest or Etsy look. So I think this might be my favorite in the whole video. I have a lot of favorites, but I love this sign and it turned out so good. So I grabbed one of my favorite signs ever from Dollar Tree, thinking of a master plan, and then also 1 pack of painter stir sticks from Home Depot for $1. I went through and marked how long I needed my sign to be. I trimmed my edges with just some scissors, and then I also marked all of my paint sticks so that I could cut them down with my miter box. After everything was cut down, I sanded off the edges so you had a nice finished sign, and then used hot glue to glue them all permanently to that sign. Now, I mentioned time is of the essence, and so I decided to try something. I took the flat white spray paint as I was spray painting everything else, and I just wanted to be able to see the wood grain, but I just wanted a light dusting of white. This is perfect. It went on super good, and I didn't have to worry about anything peeling up with the transfer tape when I put on my decal. This is another one that you could easily print out as a sheet of printer paper and then trace, but I ended up doing it on my Cricut. I weeded everything out and used my paper transfer tape that I get from Expressions Vinyl and added it to the sign. Then I took another one of my little honey sticks, glued it to the top, and then used my little honey trick. I went a little overboard, but I think in the best way. I just got really excited that it looked like honey, so I added honey to like everything. I absolutely love this sign for a setup. It also looks really great in my go-to area for these signs on this wreath. I get a lot of questions when I share it, and this particular wreath is from Marshall's, this boxwood wreath, and it fits these signs just awesome. Speaking of signs, here is another take. It's a freestanding mason jar sign, and this is made from the mason jar color your own decor that is out right now in the patriotic section at Dollar Tree. I painted it black. I cut out this free file that again will be available over on my blog if you want to recreate any of these projects. Then I transferred it with transfer tape. I ended up cutting a little piece in yellow so it popped out, but you could definitely do the whole thing in white. Then I took a metallic Sharpie and traced around the outside in silver, gave it a little bit of extra oomph there, and then I just glued one of my honey dippers to the side. And then to get it to stand up, I just added a tumbling tower block to the back, just hot glued it, and it will help it stand up straight. I absolutely love this saying. It is from an old Dominion song. If you've been around here a while, you know that I like to put country lyrics on things, and usually I make you guess, but I won't for this video. Another quintessential thing for a tiered tray setup that you see everywhere are these book stacks. And so here is a cheap way to make it for $1 from Dollar Tree. So I grabbed one of their crates and I stained it in dark walnut by Minwax, and then I painted the different books in my stack. So the top and bottoms were white, as well as the bottom of the crate, which will become the top of the crate. If that doesn't confuse you, you'll see in a second. And then once all of that white paint dried, then I did the same thing through the middle with that Maze Waverly chalk paint in yellow that I have been using this entire video, so everything kind of coordinates. Once the box was dry, I just cut out using a typewriter font, Fresh Local Honey. The height of the letters is 3/4 of an inch. That's how I got them to fit nicely there. You could also do this hand-drawn. You could stamp these. I've done that before. You could also use the Dollar Tree rub-on transfers. There's a lot of different options if you don't have a Cricut to get the letters on the side like that. And then I decided to wrap it in first a piece of black ribbon that I had on hand. I think this is from Michael's, but it was the right thickness. I made sure everything got glued down so it didn't move on me. And then I layered a smaller piece of black and white buffalo check on there. I wanted to accent with buffalo check, not overwhelm, and I think that's what this did. Then I added some more honey with another honey dipper, and then you've got your cute little stack. What I also love about doing it this way versus getting books from Dollar Tree and doing this, one, it's $1 versus $3 or $4, depending on what you're trying to say. I also really like the size when you put it on a tiered tray. And finally, I made some general ones of these in a recent Cricut video a couple months ago, and I wanted to make some ones to go with my bee setup. So these are unfinished little rolling pins from Hobby Lobby. You can get a pack of 3 for $4. RIP the coupon because I usually use the 40% off on it, but sometimes they run sales. I taped the little handles and then I painted the center with maize. Sometimes I've stained the little handles, but here I wanted to leave them unfinished wood. I didn't want too much black in my display. Then with the same font as the books, I cut out Be Kind, and I also cut out the word honey. I stuck them on. This is another one you could hand draw or use a sticker. There's a lot of different options. And then I used the same ribbon as the books to kind of tie them all together. I did one with black and buffalo check and one with just buffalo check ribbon. These little rolling pins can go for a pretty penny online, so these are a great way to get them for a cheaper price, just buying them from Hobby Lobby. And here is a quick time lapse of everything coming together for the tiered tray. As you can see, I put things in a spot, I move it again, I move it about 20 times, and then I get to the final product where I want everything. The little risers that I'm using, the black and white, are from Dollar Tree. They're little trinket trays, but they look like they have little honeycomb patterns on them, which is super cute. Here is my final tiered tray, obviously minus my mason jar sign and my other sign that's hanging above my coffee bar, but I think this looks pretty Pinterest and Etsy inspired, and I love that it is all DIY'd with some easy to find items. So again, all of the things that I use that it's available online, I will link for you so you can recreate this in your own home. Thank you so much for watching. If this was your first time here and you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and a huge thank you to Lisa for including me in this Busy Bee friend hop. The link to the next video is down in the description, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!